Sailing for the South Seas and the full sails are flying. 100 miles through the line and winds are dying. How long I will be here, I do not know. One thing I'm sure of, winds will blow.
Thanks for stopping by to check out our latest video. Many of you have asked us how we managed to cruise for so many years, despite the fact that we don't have a steady income or any significant savings, so to speak. So in this video, we're going to show you how things just always seem to happen for us. And before we get started, we'd like to once again thank all of you for your thumbs up and your amazing comments on our last video about building the mast on deck. One of you was actually so original as to write a poem about Jules and I and emerald steel, and we've decided to post it at the end of the video, so check it out. Thank you.
And we also like to thank you to those who became our new patrons.
Thank you.
So at the time we were cruising Fiji Islands, we were in Yasawa, and the hurricane season was approaching. So cruisers pretty much have two choices. One is to find a hurricane hole in the tropics where they can spend the hurricane season. Places like, for example, Pago in American Samoa, or in Tahiti there are several places good to hide, but the truth is that there is no 100% to be protected when you get a direct hit with a major hurricane. So we decided to sail from Fiji to New Zealand for a summer. And passage actually straightforward, but you have to plan and also have a little luck, because the passage is only 800 miles long, but the first half of a trip you have trade winds, but the second half you might have everything from variables, westerlies, no wind at all, or a strong gale. So actually before we left Fiji, they had races which I call a Queen's Birthday, and several boats went under, and New Zealand Navy and Coast Guard were very, very busy rescuing people, because a strong low developed over Tonga and caught up with the racers, and it happened very, very suddenly. So that shows you that when you're making that passage, and you should run out of the winds, you shouldn't be hanging around waiting for the winds, but you should start the engine and try to make it to New Zealand as fast as possible. Before we left Fiji, we stopped, say goodbye to chief of one of the village, where they let us hang around and fish.
An anchor.
An anchor. And after that, next day, they had a kava party, which we went to visit.
It's actually protocol in Fiji where you go to buy kava, you present it as a gift to the chief, and kava, in case you don't know, is a root of the pepper plant. It has a kind of numbing characteristic. They drink it kind of like coffee, and it's like a little bit of a drug, or makes you kind of drowsy, and we presented it to the chief of the village, and then they had a kava party where everybody's supposed to partake. And
after the kava party, next day we departed for New Zealand. It went exactly as was planned. On the beginning we had a nice trade winds, so we made a nice progress. And then about 300 miles from New Zealand we lost all the wind, so we started the engine and hurry as fast as possible towards Bay of Islands. And actually when we got to Bay of Islands, next day a strong gale started blowing, so we were very, very lucky. Then we actually missed it by less than 24 hours.
we actually took the advice of several New Zealanders that we met while we were in Fiji. They recommended that was a tack to take. If you lose your wind on the way between Fiji and New Zealand, just power so you can get there as soon as possible, because you don't want to get caught in a low.
We got into Opua to check with the customs. We had to have $500 to get a visa, first 30 days visa. That was a minimum we had to show, and that's only what we actually had. It was a $500 at that time, and no income whatsoever. And when that happened, actually customs and immigration dropped a bomb on us, letting us know that our visa is going to be good only for 30 days. And if you want to have an extension, you will have to show income or money in the bank to be able to get a visa for up to 6 months. Now we had a dilemma because all we had was a $500 and we had no income whatsoever. We were much younger then than now, so we were not retired. So we really had a problem, and we were saying, what the hell are we going to do now? Going back to South Seas, it was not a very much option due to hurricane season starting. And then on top of that, we were informed by immigration that because of that disaster on Queen's birthday, they changed their laws. And anyone who's living in New Zealand, to get before you can get an exit visa and a clearance paper, you must have a life raft, EPIRB, and several other things. After a check with the customs, we got our temporary visa. We went and anchored in the Bay of Islands close to a place called Russell. And we were just hoping that something's going to turn out.
Somehow we could make some money or something.
But actually, luck turned out unbelievable. About third day when we were out there, somebody in the morning knocked on our boat. I stick my head out. There was a lady. She said to me, "Is your name Jules?" I said, "Yeah, my name is Jules." She said, "Oh, we have a mutual friend who told me that you guys going to be arriving in the Bay of Islands from the tropics, and he's going to get together with you, so I'm here to make a contact." And then she continued and say, "I heard you're a carpenter and you build your own boat, and I have a friend here in Russell who needs a contract to build a patio. Would you be interested?" So I kind of look at her thinking, would I be interested? More than interested. So anyway, I went there. Next day was a walking distance, about 15 minutes walk from Anchorage to the house.
The perfect location, right nearby.
It was overlooking a Bay of Islands, so you could see our boat. So I went there, visit those people, talk to them about the job, and the guy would tell me what he wants to do, and I look at him and I said to him, I say, "You are God sent." And he looked at me and says, "God sent? Surely you don't believe such a fairy tale as a God." I look at him and I was thinking very fast. I said, I never denied a God, but I surely needed this job very, very bad. But anyway, I look at him and I said, without God, there is nothing. Anyway, we talked a little bit longer, then he told me, "Okay, when can you start it?" I said, "I can start tomorrow." So next day, he came with his car, and we picked up all my tools from the boat, and he gave us right back to his house because it was too heavy things to be carrying, a skill saw, drills, hammers, and so forth. So it was very helpful. And there was a little problems like we need a transformer because all my tools was 110 volts from America, and New Zealand's got 220, so we had to order a transformer. He said he's going to do it, no problem. And actually, after I worked for him for a while, he told me the main reason why he gave me a job because he couldn't believe that I came look for a job, and I actually argued with him about existence of a God. And we actually spent many, many hours debating if God exists or not. And he always told me, "Jules, what I respect about you, you're 100%. You really put a good argument, which most people just don't have the heart in it."
Very pretty.
Just another piece of wood.
On the deck.
So after we've been working there for a while, I told him our problem about getting a visa, and we became quite a good friends. And he told me, "You know what? Why don't we just sponsor you? You don't have to be worried about it." So they actually wrote an affidavit to immigration and they sponsor us, so we didn't have to worry anymore about the visa. We got a 6-month visa, and it's hard to believe, but that's the way things works out. After the job was finished, we made enough money to last us for a while, and actually was able to buy a life raft. After the work, we still had plenty time to cruising in New Zealand, so we really had an enjoyable time.
We were there for like 6 months, right?
Yes.
And I also actually got a job working on a friend of ours' boat. He had an aluminum boat, and I did some welding for him, so that was another way we earned money while we were there.
Yes, the job she did for our friend when we were visit him, he was in Whangarei, and to go up to the Whangarei, you go several miles up the river, and you share the river channel, which is very narrow, with actually a big steamer, which we actually encountered on the way up there. And once the steamer passed us, I actually had to shut the engine off because he created so much mud behind him that I was scared for sure we're gonna plug our intake going into our cooling system. And when the time came to leave, again, to save money, instead of haul out in Auckland in the boatyard, we actually put the boat against the pilings, wait for the tide to come out. We clean the bottom, apply 2 coats of paint before we departed New Zealand. So down Russell's, where we anchor, a yacht club had actually pilings for the purpose, so people could do their own job.
And after spending a beautiful 6 months in New Zealand, we are off to another destination. So I guess that's it for now. Thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.